Hi Abhay,
Hi Aditya.
welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel.
Thank you so much.
I've known you since 2004, मतलब 20 साल हो गए.
Yeah.
And आप वैसे के वैसे दिखते हो. So, Abhay, you have been chief engineer at Purple Haze Studios in Bandra.
Yeah.
And you joined here in 1998.
Yeah.
तो ये बताइए कि 98 में तो अभी स्टूडियोज का माहौल बहुत अभी शुरू हो रहा था, that
Yeah.
there was no wave or something. It was
Yeah.
very fresh. So how did you become a sound engineer? If you can run us through that.
Yeah. Basically, I'm a musician.
Okay.
So since college days, I used to perform in radios and television as a radio artist, as a tabla player,
Okay.
Indian classical. I was very fascinated with obviously the music and the way it's been recorded whenever I used to go to Akashwani or Doordarshan that time. So I used to get very fascinated by the whole concept of recording. And I always wished that if I don't become a musician as such, then there should be something which is more fascinating than this. And that was sound engineering, which I came across during college days, and then I got to know that there are universities for these at that time, but they were like certificate course or a diploma that time. Now they are degrees and all. I then gave an entrance test at the Mumbai University.
Okay.
Got selected after the interview and all, and then from there the sound engineering journey started.
So Professor Manohar Kunte was
Manohar Kunte is right. And Avinash Oaks.
Okay. Nice. So Abhay, when you joined the studio, तभी ऐसा होता है कि यार पगार क्या मिलेगा. See, बैंक में we have an idea कि starting salary 10,000 रुपया मिलता है, या आज की डेट में सपोज 25,000 रुपया मिलता है as a beginner, as a intern. तो वो सब questions से दिमाग में, did parents tell you कि भाई क्या कर रहा है?
Parents were quite confused because that time this field was not like how is it is now, and everyone knows about it. That time my parents were like quite, because I come from a background where people are in income tax and IAS and all those things, and doctors and all. So for me to get out of that box was quite difficult, and also being a only child. So my parents thought, "Arey, how will this happen, and what kind of field is this? You never know." So I just happened to tell them that just give me 2 years of my life. If I can do something in these 2 years, I'll go for it. Otherwise, I'll stick to whatever you say. Actually, you can say luck that my first job was at Purple Haze.
तो आपको अपना पहला दिन याद है स्टूडियो का?
हाँ.
क्या, can you share?
I entered this room, and that time there was a percussion dub happening, and percussions and obviously tabla. So I was so thrilled seeing a musician called Bondo. He was playing all his rhythm percussions, and I was so thrilled. Wow, I've got it. I've arrived I'm on the right path. As you asked me, like, what you thought about your salary or something, I had no clue about it. I didn't want to even think at that time, okay, I would earn something. I just wanted to enjoy this process for like 2 years. If in 2 years learn something out of this, then I can take this ahead. And that's how it started. And I was so thrilled on that first day. Only the next day, when the jingles and all other work started, that time I got to know the other side of sound engineering. So, this is even different. Now here comes more, because first day was an album recording, so it was more fun, frolic, and music. Next day was the jingle, and suddenly it was all more professional, and So that's the first time I didn't sleep for the entire night because I was working. and I felt, oh my God, now I have to stay awake till 4 o'clock and again go back to work at 9.
Wow.
So how am I going to manage this? Because till now I was sleeping like for 8 hours minimum. So that whole comfort zone was like shaken. So that's how, but the thing is, the second recording was with Ehsaan and Loy. And what musicians. I mean, right from day one, I would rather say that there were only legends, like, performing at the studio. And they opened, because I come from an Indian classical background, and Loy and Ehsaan, as blues guitarist, and Loy to amazing jazz player. So they opened my horizons, like, this is music now, you have to understand this and that. And then, then the fascination even grew more. And I was just blessed, basically, to have these people around and work with them. And that time, the engineers also, like Nakul Kamte, Shantanu Lekar, Ashish Saxena, all these were there around, and they were playing a big role in how you should record albums. And so it was quite a quick learning for me, because the process was very tough. At the same time, these people were so into it that the process was, though tough, I won't say it was very easy. It was tough, but the way they handle the situations, that made me learn something more, and then develop my own skills. So that was, and that's how the journey began. And then with at that time, Ram Sampath, Vishal Shekhar, all they were doing ads, and they used to come over here. Even now they come. But those were the days, like, when they were doing all the ads, and we used to then obviously get together and do, like, Shankar Ehsaan Loy. We used to actually, in the morning, we used to jam before the session starts. So I used to play percussion, and the trio used to play their own magical instruments. And we used to start with 1 hour jam, and then we used to begin this session, like, now let's work. So it was very much full of fun.
Abhay, you just said कि हम लोग रिकॉर्डिंग करने के पहले, अब शंकर एहसान लॉय इस स्टूडियो में पहले एल्बम से लेके इनका अभी तक, उनका, ये लोग उसको अपना ही स्टूडियो मानते हैं कि शंकर एहसान लॉय का स्टूडियो है, and they treat it also like theirs.
Yeah.
Though Ashish has been running it very well, and you've been engineering here for 25 years plus. तो जब आपने बोला कि 1 घंटा हम लोग पहले जैम करने का और फिर रिकॉर्ड करने का, तो is this like a warm up session?
Very much.
Like marathon के पहले अपन थोड़ा सा.
There were 3 different worlds of music coming together, like Shankar, Ehsaan, Loy. So when they used to jam, I was so blessed that people spent so much to listen to them, and I used to actually be with them when they are just jamming. And the jam sessions were even more than the shows, when they are their own selves and they are jamming. You can just imagine क्या जादू होता रहेगा यहाँ पे.
It's a magical experience. तो अबे, ये आप जैसे तबला सीखे हो, so it has helped you in your engineering journey?
Very much.
How?
Means, see, when you are working with all musicians, there is a connect in a different world. Like, means what he's thinking. Means if they are thinking that after, normal is like a 4 cycle, 8 cycle, or like in tempos, like say if it's a 7/8 song, then 6/8 song. So you are already connected with the musician, and before they would say something to you, you had already done it. If someone played a 1 bar shaker, for instance, or there is one phrase which comes at a particular time. So being a musician, I know when that phrase is going to come. So before the next part comes, I know where to place the phrase. So you kind of, manipulate that way, and then you can create your own structure also at the same time, where the musician will say, the music composer will say, "Arey, I like this, keep this way." So there are many instances which you just work for it. Like, they are doing something else at the same time you're doing something else, and suddenly a structure happens, and Shankar might say, "Hey, ye acha hai. This is good." So certain things happen. Sometimes mistakes also become an idea. So like for I think it's for movie Dawn, वो जो pickup है, tak tik tik tak tik tik tak tik tik tak. So actual वो pickup आने वाला था tak tik tik tak, पर वो बाय मिस्टेक मेरा और 1/4 बीट आगे मैंने लगा दिया. Tak tik tik tak tik tik tik. So if you listen to the song, suddenly the song picks up, So that time, but the good thing is working with Shankar Ehsaan Loy. It's like they give you such a boost. Like, go ahead, if you have something, just show me, and that's what made me feel ke, Arey, it's a team. It's not like I'm working for them or you're working for them, but it's a team. So you have to be in the zone at the same time, and you have to make that song grow bigger. So that's what helps as a musician.
Right. So very interesting incident you shared.
Yeah.
तो ऐसे भी कोई कंपोजर्स आते हैं जो बोलते हैं कि भाई तू अपना मत लगा दिमाग, we know what we want, you just do your engineering, इधर कट कॉपी पेस्ट से ज्यादा इधर ये सब मत कर. Is that also?
I think all composers, when they come to know that you are musically inclined and
Okay.
then they become your friends.
अच्छा.
Then there is nothing like अरे यार तू if you don't know music and you started saying something बहुत ऐसा कर रहे वैसा कर रहे, then it could be. But if you are on the same plane and you come to know that you are on the same plane when you're working, and most of the time means with the music composers, it's always like that. Okay, you are on the same plane and then you just flow, and you don't come to know whether it just becomes your own song, and then you travel and make the song big. That's it.
Excellent.
That's how it goes.
So I think a lot of viewers who are students of audio engineering will hopefully start learning music also a little more seriously.
Yeah, because technical knowledge is, yes, it's important, but when you're doing a music album or any sort connected to the music, then you have little knowledge of music that will help you tremendously. That's
That's a wonderful advice. Thank you. Abhay, you have worked with many top celebrities since we are in Bombay, Bollywood primarily, and you've dubbed the biggest of artists. So can you share a little incidents या किस को आपने handle किया है इतने साल?
Artists, as from the music point of view, lot of singers like S.P. Balasubramaniam ji, Chitra ji, and I mean Sonu ji, Shreya. I mean they do come here and we are still working, but one moment with S.P. Balasubramaniam that always makes me feel very special, because S.P. Balasubramaniam is such a big name. Okay, so he came here to dub a song, and that was the time it was Hindi. I don't remember the producer or the.
Do you remember the song?
No, it is like almost 20 years back maybe. So, and he was dubbing it, and there was only one section, and he used to do one take, and the whole song used to get over. Amazing, whatever. So at that time there was no auto tune, there was no Melodyne. So singers were bang on pitch, and SPG, he gave 2-3 takes, and out of that one take, there was one section which I felt it was little down, means I can't even say this, but for my ears, it was like, oh my. And then I told the producer that I think we should just, punch this. But everyone was like, how can you say this to SP? So we have another take, we will try and choose from there. So I said, yeah, but this is a very good take. If we get just this punch, it'll be better. So he walked out from the dubbing room to control room, and then he sat here, and I just played that particular section twice. And And then I stopped. I didn't say anything. He just looked at me. I think we should take this again, this portion. And he just walked in, he just punched that section, and it was done. And from there, he asked me, "Are you a musician?" So, yeah. So this is how it helps. And you're on the, I mean, being a musician, you relate. Okay? He also won't like losing this particular part. So when he heard it, he said, we have to do this.
Because if it is recorded wrong, to lifetime,
Yeah,
it'll be a problem.
Correct.
It's better to do a dub or redub and
Exactly.
remove the issue.
Yeah.
But like you rightly said, if you're a musician, then you will catch it faster.
Yeah. Also with Shankar to is like he's my big brother, you can say. So if you see me him talking to me during the session, you will say, "अरे ये क्या means कैसा ये लोग बात करते हैं ऐसे?" Means just very casual, you know. Hey, karna, it's like that, and all the big people are sitting around, and we have a conversation in our way. Like Shankar sings in a different way, but singing for so many years, I know, I mean, what he is. I mean, sometimes if he gives a take particularly and a client wants something else, then, but the client is not ready to speak to Shankar, you know, communicate to him. I become the medium. You know, if I tell Shankar, Shankar, he'll, karte na. So he'll sing it and give more two options. So that becomes another. So this is how people, I mean, these legends, I would say, they how work with, like, when you are in the same plane, then it becomes easy for.
I would say they also almost started off by the time you started off.
Yeah.
So they have become legends over a period of time.
Yeah.
But the musicianship is what is important.
Yeah.
That connection is important.
Yeah.
चाहे आप legend हो चाहे जो भी हो.
Correct.
तो उसका आपका क्या रोल रहता है? How do you connect to say established guys who walk in? Suppose कोई एक शाहरुख खान आया यहाँ डबिंग के लिए. He lives close by. वो आ गया. How do you handle him miking से लेके कैसे बात करना सर करके क्या? What is it? How do you handle celebs?
So basically celebs, for instance, ये लोगों के लिए है. जब भी वो यहाँ आते हैं ना, they come as a artist. Means हम लोग को लगेगा कि क्या अभी they are walking in means they will throw their attitude or ये वो ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. They are very simple and so down to earth.
मतलब नाम लेके बात करेंगे?
Yeah. No, never. I mean, they are so gentlemen, like all the artists. They come here, they actually become your friends while talking. Like, you know, when you start dubbing a film, at the end of the film, you're friends. And means it becomes that casual.
Not ऐसा technical आदमी है,
नहीं
बटन दबाने वाला आदमी है.
No, never.
Okay.
I mean, they give you that respect, and I mean, as far as SRK is concerned, I mean, after his dub is done, he will never go out directly. He'll come here, he'll say thank you to you, and then move. So he's that. I mean, lots to learn from him, because he'll come gently and shake hands, and then thank you so much, and beta, and all that he'll do, and he'll go. So you are like, wow, I mean, how much to learn from such guys, you know? So that keeps you grounded. How much you go ahead, but this is how you should be.
Right. So Abhay, who have you had a lot of fun besides SEL? Who all have you had fun working with? मतलब ये आता है ना, बहुत मजा आता है. ऐसा कोई है?
विशाल शेखर is there.
अच्छा.
विशाल शेखर तो they are like buddies only. So when they come, it's like a laughing session altogether. The way they deal with everything, it's like after every 5 minutes there has to be a joke. So it's basically that kind of working. And yes, the work is also very much focused at the same time. Once they get into it, it's like you have to get that result.
Right.
And you get it because the atmosphere is such that you maintain that caliber. And yeah, it's very fun with them also. So
Aamir Khan does a lot of his work at Purple Haze.
Yeah.
So any experience with him that you would like to share?
My first interaction with him was during Taare Zameen Par. And we worked a lot, and we were means it was a very enjoyable ride. The whole concept, the way it was recorded, the way background was recorded. The background was not done in a dubbing studio, but we had just put up a mic here, and it was all live. And there was this harmonica which Loy used to play, and in the control room only we used to record, and that score becomes, like very unique. That was, and it was the screening day, and they had invited my parents also that time. So me and my parents, we went to the theater, and Amir sir was sitting like way. He saw me and my parents, and this humble guy, he just got up of the chair. He came to me and he said, shook hands and all. Then told my parents that, you know what, your son is very talented. And my parents looking at Amir Khan saying this about my son. So this is what he is. He's a recordist also, and he plays instruments also. And in Taare Zameen Par he has played tabla and this and that. He explained it to them, like very not like just because he has to say something, but he was equally, So I was like, oh, I mean, how he can remember such small things? Like for me, I mean, I'm just a sound engineer on this job, but he takes that note.
So Abhay, you were थोड़ा अपने आप को थोड़ा वो बोल रहे थे, मैं तो एक सिर्फ साउंड इंजीनियर हूँ, बट बहुत साउंड इंजीनियर का काम उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है जितना एक एक्टर का. So the role that you've done in recording so many film albums and jingles and what not so far, आप आते नहीं हो बाहर सोशल मीडिया पे, लेकिन it is excellent work.
Thank you.
So can you tell us the albums that you have mixed at this Purple Haze Studio?
SEL, most of the, I means remembering has becomes a little this thing. Like from Wake Up Sid to first album was, I think, Bhopal Express, then Rock On, then Kajra Re, Bunty Bubbly.
The ideation of an album or a song happens in front of you here, or they घर पे homework करके फिर आके यहाँ पे सीधा record करने का?
Depends on music directors.
Okay.
Like with SEL and all, it's all like you are in front of the director. What director wants, he'll just discuss the ideas and they just start and the song evolves. So that's a different process.
So all that argument also happens in front of you. All that also happens in front of you.
Everything. It's your house and everything happens.
So you know everything basically.
When we are working on one particular idea, but there are approaches which are different. So when the approaches clash, then what happens? Then when those approaches clash, there is a third approach that emerges, so that becomes a different thing. Oh, good that this happened.
Okay.
Because you got this.
अच्छा हुआ कि
हाँ अच्छा हुआ वो clash हो गया.
तो आपको भी पूछते हैं कि अरे अबे तेरा क्या बोलने का है?
Yeah.
ये riff अच्छा है कि वो अच्छा है?
Yeah.
They ask you also.
Yeah. Sometimes it's also see, I'm connected to SL in a different way because I've lived SEL, I would say, because so even if Ehsaan or Shankar, he has to play something, and so I have that habit of going, इससे अच्छा आ सकता है. So इसमें कुछ googly चाहिए, that because I know that they are capable of something.
So in a way, what you're saying is working with a music composer team, a sound engineer, if he's connected to them for many years, so he becomes a part of the team.
Exactly.
And the output becomes better.
Much better.
भले अपना नाम आए नहीं आए.
Yeah.
But your contribution is there as a sound engineer in some way.
Yeah.
In almost every song or project correct? What is it that you would ask our viewers to do when they're just starting out? आपने जब चालू किया तो उन्होंने भी चालू किया. ये तो हम SEL की बात इसलिए कर रहे हैं because ये उनका घर है. But there are so many
Yeah.
directors and producers you worked with, musicians also. So for young listeners of today, आप उनको क्या कहना चाहोगे? 3 बातें, ये 3 चीज का ध्यान रखना when you're starting out as an engineer, right from your first day, like आपका जो पहला वाला था, बॉन्डो बजा रहा था वो, से लेके अब तक करियर को ग्रो करने के लिए, एक एक्सेप्टेंस लाने के लिए, what are the 3 main things you would like to advise?
So तभी जब भी मैंने चालू किया था, तभी सिर्फ आई वाज फोकस्ड विद द म्यूजिक. अभी कैसा है with the sync sound and sound design, there are quite different areas. So you need to understand what you're passionate about. Like if you're passionate about music, तो उसका scope अलग है. If you're passionate about sync sound, then उसका scope अलग है. So वो सब है. Advertising भी उसका scope अलग है. And the way the markets are right now, तो वो भी सीखना ज़रूरी है कि क्या किधर जा रहा है मार्केट. सो उस हिसाब से फर्स्ट थिंग आई वुड काउंट इज यू नीड टू बी पैशनेट कि मुझे ये म्यूज़िक आता है और आई एम फैसिनेटेड. देखो बाहर से तो ये बहुत अच्छा दिखेगा, बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग देन यू कम रियलाइज कि क्या लगता है इसके लिए.
रियलिटी.
या ऐसे भी दिन आए हैं कि 2-3 दिन सोने को नहीं है एंड सडनली यू हियर द हार्मोनिक्स, मीन्स कान चलना बंद कर देता है. And suddenly you hear, अरे मेरे को हार्मोनी सुनाई दे रहे हैं. So then you just dash. ऐसे ही सो जाते हैं आप. क्लाइंट पीछे बैठा है, नहीं नहीं बहुत काम किया तो आज उसको सोने दो. तो then 2-3 घंटा सोने के बाद then you come back to normal. Be passionate. Secondly, obviously what you learn. Like as far as sound engineering is concerned, there are n number of books with n number of authors. They'll tell you all different concepts and all are right also. It's not that. But at the end of every book, you come to that line saying that you have to trust your ears. So all said and done, everything, technicalities, you know, ये वो, but ये क्या सुन रहा है, उसके ऊपर ध्यान ज़्यादा देना चाहिए. क्योंकि क्या हर वक्त हम लोग ग्राफिक्स देखेंगे, ग्राफ्स देखेंगे और काम करेंगे तो इट विल बी, कभी कभी एक मैजिकल नोट आ जाता है जो ग्राफिक में नहीं दिखेगा, पर वो ज़रूरी है तो वो रखना चाहिए. वो एक इमोशन आ जाता है तो वो महसूस होना चाहिए कि ये इमोशन अलग है, तो वो रखना चाहिए. सो वो एक नज़रिया आप कितने पढ़ते हो और कितना उसको यूटिलाइज करते हो उसमें. सो ये दूसरा बात. तीसरा इज़ लाइक यू हैव टू गिव अप yourself for like 10 years without thinking कि कितना पैसा आ रहा है मुझे. अगर सच में आप उतना हो, हाँ, अगर आप ये सोच के इंस्टीट्यूट में आ रहे हो कि आपका सैलरी इतना इतना होगा, जैसा स्टार्ट करोगे वैसा स्टार्ट करोगे, तो वैसा नहीं है. बिकॉज यू नीड टू प्रूव योर सेल्फ हाउ गुड यू आर, बिकॉज दिस इज अ स्किल्ड एटमॉस्फेयर. तो इधर जितना आप स्किल्ड हो उतना आपको लोग आपके साथ काम करेंगे.
Thanks for those points. Any favorite plugins of yours? मतलब go to plugin कि ये तो मैं use करता ही हूँ.
No, it depends. See, what happens is how much time you have in hand. Sometimes we don't even get 1 minute. So there are certain plugins which are proved, tested, means you're constantly working and you know with these parameters you will get this sound, you will get that sound. With this reverb you will get this reverb. As of now, I just want this reverb to make people feel good. Later on I can work on it. So there are certain plugins which, like, you know, and they are basic. I won't say they are like very, but yeah, Chris Lord, Algae, CLA vocals, which I use on vocals because they kind of give you a quality of sound which just fits perfectly into the mix with certain adjustment in the parameters, and you don't have very too large parameters also. So just, and you get the sound. And yeah, reverbs and all. So revive is a heaven. Just put it in and at least you're safe. So if you don't have time in hand and the singer is waiting or music directors are waiting or some, so you have these plugins which are like ready.
Thankfully they are available on Sudeep Audio. So Abhay, You also mixed recently John McLaughlin's album. Can you share a little story about that?
Wow. I mean, John G, I would say, means I would never ever thought that John G will come here and record it. And also Shankar, because it was Shankar's album. And there I realized that this level of musicianship is out of everything.
मतलब ऐसा महसूस होता है?
महसूस होता है means they feel the song, they feel the rhythm, और उनका बजाना चालू होता है. वो ऐसा नहीं कि 5/8 का सॉन्ग है, 5/8 का सॉन्ग में वो 7 भी बजाएंगे. It's just they feel. जाकिर भाई उधर गए, एक टेक में पूरा 5/8 का सॉन्ग था, पर वो जो बजा रहे थे वो तो 5/8 नहीं था, वो कुछ और. मीन्स एंड द कनेक्टिविटी इज जस्ट फ्लोइंग, एंड वो एक अलग ही एक्सपीरियंस कि ये किसी और प्लैनेट से आए हुए हैं. दैट एनर्जी इज समथिंग लाइक दैट.
तो कभी आपको ऐसा नर्वसनेस होती है कि आप ग्रैमी विनर्स को रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हो, उनके गाने खुद मिक्स कर रहे हो, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू न्यूयॉर्क और सम लंदन, अपना लोकल मराठी बॉय के साथ वो लोग कर रहे हैं, तो कभी ऐसा नर्वसनेस होता है कि यार मेरे ऊपर बहुत जवाबदारी है, ऐसा कुछ?
यू नो व्हाट, इट्स other way around, because they make you feel as if, you know, you take your time, and when they listen to it, they listen with, like, you know, that if you have given 100%, there has to be something. So let's not listen. They might be listening from their own perspective also, and from other guys, how he must have mixed it. So now, if there is an issue of certain thing कि ये अच्छा नहीं साउंड कर रहा है, so they will tell you कि ये ना ऐसा करके देखते हैं, and in a very humble way they'll tell you, and which is from your side it should be, means it's a wrong thing to you. But they'll say, like, for once I tried with John G, like, you know, his guitar take, I put a amp on that, and now amp which suddenly the texture of the guitar changed because of that, and I was trying something which I felt that all other songs I have tried this, let me try one different thing in this. So John G heard it and it's nice, but when I composed it now, the sound was this. Can you get this little towards this particular sound? So that's the way he directed me. Like, you know, this is how you should do. Then I got to know that, yeah, could be I must have gone a little emotional about my own process. So then you get a balance. Like, yeah, this is how we should approach. I mean, his ears are so blessed that he can hear a change of half dB also. Did you got it down by half dB? Yeah. How? So
Anything else you would like to share?
With these musicians, they don't give up. Basically, I learned that if you are going wrong, or like, you know, you miss your path or something like that, don't give up. They will come back. You'd work, see to it that you get it. So from these musicians only I've learned that nobody gives up, so why should I? You know. So you learn that.
Excellent. Abhay, thank you for spending time with us.
Pleasure.
And
It's a pleasure.
25+ साल आपने बिताए इस इंडस्ट्री में, चुपचाप सुमड़ी में कहीं बैठते हो, तो बाहर आया करो, सोशल मीडिया पे दिखो, शेयर करो अपने टेक्निक्स which we will run on the channel.
Yeah, sure.
Some of your mixes and EQs that you've used, you know, for listeners to know कि यार ये एल्बम तो सुपर है, किसने रिकॉर्ड किया, अब वो थोड़ा भी आ गया बाहर. Thank you, Abhay, and wish you all the very best.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.